Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. And we're going to be talking about fermented foods and cancer. And there's been a lot of research on it and how helpful it can be, and just how important it is to have a really good microbiome. Because it does so many things, guys. We're just at the tip of the iceberg here, finding out all of the things that our microbiome does for us. And, it can also help protect us against cancer and help us if we get cancer. And in this day and age, when so many people have really damaged their microbiome by not feeding it the proper foods that it needs, taking lots and lots of antibiotics or harmful drugs that can destroy it, not just completely destroy it, but really damage it. I think it's a really important topic to talk about because there are things that are going on inside of us all the time that we don't know about. And one of the most important things that you can pay attention to is feeding those microbes that are 100 trillion inside of you and all around you that govern, millions of functions in the body that we don't even know about. But before I get into all that, I want to talk to you about when I first started my business. It was 2010. And I had just started doing my blog and my Facebook page. And the second person to post on my Facebook page was a man named Chris. And he asked me how to make kombucha. He was a friend of the family. He was friends with my older kids who were teenagers at the time. And I didn't know at the time when he was asking me how to make kombucha, he had just been diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And he was very young. He was, I can't remember how old he was, maybe late 20s. And he had a family, had a young family, and he needed help. So fast forward many years later, and Chris is 12 years cancer-free. He did undertake chemotherapy, but he also started adding tons of cultured foods to his diet. And he's one of the people that helped me really. I had done it for a few years by myself, but he came along with some other people, but mostly him, to help me run my website, set it up. And now he's been with me working full time for, since 13. I think it was 2013 he started working for me. And he is really the person responsible for the way my site looks, it runs, and about a million other things that he does every day with me. And he was pretty devastated when he got, stage 3 lymphoma. That was really scary for him. And it really wasn't till many, many years later that we discovered just how important it was that Chris had added cultured probiotic foods to his diet. It was really the perfect time for him to really add them because your microbiome, it's like I said, is so crucial in so many ways. But we have found that there's bunches of new studies that have found that certain strains of bacteria not only keep cancer at bay, but also help you overcome it if you do have it, especially if you have things like chemotherapy, because that can destroy the gut lining, and this helps you repair it. So if you do have cancer, and oftentimes people do chemotherapy, which can bring a host of other problems because it pretty much almost kills you when you're doing it because it's trying to kill the cancer. But there's been so much research done on the connection between the gut and chemo. In one clinical study, researchers gave a group of mice an injection of chemotherapy that would pound for pound kill most adults. And why did they do that? And according to Jin-Guai Jen, he's associate professor at the University of Michigan State School of Dentistry, all tumors from different tissues and organs can be killed by high doses of chemotherapy and radiation. But the current challenge for treating the later stage metastasized cancer is that it can actually kill the patient before it kills the tumor. This is what he stated. So the goal was to test a recently discovered biological mechanism that focuses on preserving the integrity of the gastrointestinal tract, a mechanism that helped these mice live through the lethal doses of chemotherapy. So the mice were injected with a substance called RSPO1, or respondin 1, which activates stem cell productions within the gut. And those stem cells then rebuild the damaged tissue faster than chemotherapy can destroy it. Of the mice that were given the Respondo 1, 50 to 75% survived the fatal dose of chemotherapy, which was much higher than they would give a human. But all the mice that did not receive it died. And here's the exciting part. Your body already has a way to make Respondo 1 all on its own. Inside the human gut, a layer of epithelial cells is regenerated every single 4 to 5 days. And as long as you have the right gut flora, it will do that. If you have a healthy gut flora, and including a group of healthy strains of bacteria, which you should have normally, your body will regenerate itself. And if it's not healthy, then it slows or halts the regeneration of your intestinal cells. The probiotics in your gut can determine how and if your body survives chemotherapy, make it even more crucial for those with cancer who are going through chemotherapy to add probiotics and prebiotics to their diet. And I've done a lot more research on this too, because I know one of the ones that helps to repair the gut lining the most is called Akkermansia muciniphila. Akkermansia muciniphila is really important. It's an essential bacteria for your gut. It was discovered in 2004 by a microbiologist called Altun D.L. Ackermans. And this friendly bacteria makes up to about 1 to 4% of your gut microbe. And it helps to maintain our gut lining, has many health benefits. And so basically your gut lining keeps you protected from the outside world. When it's damaged, you can have like leaky gut syndrome, IBS, anxiety, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, just to name a few. So it's really important to strengthen your gut lining, especially after chemotherapy. And certain foods can be powerful medicine and keep your gut and Akkermansia microbes thriving. So one of the ways that it can do that is one of the things that it likes to eat the most is apples. It loves the pectin that is in apples, but it especially likes the peels of the apple. And apples are like 50% pectin. And Akkermansia grows like crazy when you give it apples or apple peels. And they even have a lot of apple peel powders on the market that you can get if you don't want to peel apples or just eat apples. But it also likes foods like berries, all different kinds of berries, cherries, strawberries, raspberries, plums. It loves asparagus, likes apples, apple peel powders. And it even likes fructooleosaccharide, which is a prebiotic that's in a lot of foods now, that it adds a lot of fiber to foods and a tiny bit of sweetness. And they actually had really good results in feeding and growing Akkermansia in a laboratory. And they used fructooleosaccharides, which is short for FOS, and it did really well. Akkermansia helps to maintain our gut lining, and it does it so well that it creates short-chain fatty acids like butyrate that helps things like insulin resistance to stay in check, reduces blood sugar, blood pressure. And Akkermansia also consumes HMOs, which are human milk oligosaccharides. Infants get that at birth when they consume breast milk. And what it does is it really sets the foundation for a healthy gut lining in a baby, but it also can do it in you. And I have a lot more information on this, and I'm going to link that in the article below so you can check it out if you want more information about how to repair your gut lining and what Akkermansia can do to help you do that. Okay, so there's another really good study that was done in 2005, and a team of researchers in Poland and the United States studied two groups of young Polish women, one that had immigrated to the United States and one that had not immigrated to the United States. And they found that the rate of breast cancer was 3 times higher in those in the U.S. than for those still living in Poland. And then further studies concluded that the consumption of cultured sauerkraut was a possible factor in differing rates of cancer. Women in Poland ate an average of 30 pounds of probiotic sauerkraut, not the stuff you see in the stores that's canned. This was the kind that was naturally fermented. So they ate 30 pounds of sauerkraut each year, while the women in the U.S. ate less than 10 pounds per year. And why does this matter? Because sauerkraut contains high levels of glucosinolates, which have been shown to have anti-cancer activities in laboratory research. So other studies have focused on estrogen metabolism and the enzymes in sauerkraut and its juices, and because the juice is just as powerful as the vegetables themselves. And in a 2012 study conducted by biochemist Hansa Schaefer and his colleagues looked at the ability of the enzymes in cabbage and sauerkraut to change the expression of the P450 enzyme. This is the one that metabolizes estrogen, but is also carcinogenic. And the research supported the idea that the consumption of sauerkraut was a beneficial food for the prevention of breast cancer in women. And there's been more studies since then that have actually collaborated with this one and proved it's even more effective than we thought. Now, there's another new thing that I've got just recently, and I found oh my gosh, so many studies on this, and it was about L-reuteri, which is a new yogurt we've been making. L-reuteri is such an important bacteria in our bodies, and most people are missing it. 94% of the population are missing it if they've had an antibiotic. And it's one of the, it's a new product we've developed at L-reuteri because it works really well when you get it in a fermented food as it compared to getting it in a supplement. And it works so well that researchers from the University of Michigan Medical School have found that those with colon cancer, they have tumors that have been altered because they have a different microbiome that permits cancer progression. And they found that having a healthy microbiome suppresses these types of tumor growths in colon cancer. And several studies they've done them on humans, they've done them on mice, have used Lactobacillus reuteri, which is known to reduce inflammation in the intestines, but they also found that it was interestingly enough that it worked very well on cancer tumors in the colon. They also found that having a damaged microbiome is a sign of colon cancer and contributes to inflammation and tumor growth. And gut microbes signal metabolites. And they found that certain microbial metabolites from healthy mice or humans are growth repressive to colon cancer. So when a microbiome contains Lactobacillus reuteri and its metabolites, reuterin, it was found that it was down-regulating tumor growth in mice and in humans. So Lactobacillus reuteri helped to restrict the colon tumor growth and increase tumor-reactive oxygen species. So that meant that it wouldn't let it grow and multiply, and it would restrict it from getting any worse. But it also found that it was down-regulating all this tumor growth, and it was very, very protective against colon cancer. And they're finding more and more studies found this to be very true. And we have a great way to increase your L-reuteri. Guys, I've been taking this for several months, 3 months. I can't believe the benefits I've got from it. It kind of has shocked me. It's a yogurt that we make, and it's a little intense to make, but it's so worth the effort. But most people are missing it from their microbiome. And I was doing it for other reasons because it has so many benefits. But if you've had any kind of antibiotic, chances are you are missing this very impressive bacteria species that you need. And it wasn't until just recently that I discovered that it actually helped people who had colon cancer. And I have quite a few studies on it. And it's really quite impressive. And it's not surprising to me because if we've been missing this special bacteria, and it lives in the upper gastrointestinal area, but it also does so many things in the body that helps you to, if you have SIBO, if you have candida overgrowth, if you need help with, your skin, your hair. Guys, it does so many things. It's kind of shocking me. I am a believer, and I didn't believe it at first, but this is new research that finds that it actually helps with colon cancer, which is really, really exciting to me. Because anytime you can do something that your body naturally allows your microbiome to just take over, because your cells and your bacteria in your body are very, very intelligent. They know what to do given what they need. But if they're not there, if they're not existing in your body, and that's just not L-reuteri, but it's Akkermansia, there's 50 species in kefir, there's a bunch in kombucha, there's a bunch in cultured vegetables. All of them have different species that are dominant that allow the body to heal itself. And making up this diet of these foods has had just a profound impact on myself. It's so many other people that it's astounding to me how well it works. And it's just food. It's not medicine with side effects or anything like that. It's just a food. And it's stuff that we should naturally be eating. Because years ago, we naturally eat these foods. They were how we kept our food preserved and safe. And then with, the invention of the refrigerator and things like that, they kind of marketed fermented foods as not being as healthy for you because they wanted to sell foods to keep in the refrigerator. When for years we had not only probiotic foods that we ate on a regular basis, but we had drinks and, all of those different types of sodas and things that had good bacteria in them, kept our water safe, kept us and our microbiome flourishing. And nowadays, we hardly ingest anything. Most of the population is not thinking about probiotic foods in general, and it's slowly changing. But I do think that's why there's an uprise in disease because, Hippocrates said all diseases begin in the gut. And think about this, if you are 100 trillion bacteria, that's more than cells in the body by 10 times. They're doing something all day long for you. That's all they care about. They know what to do. But if you feed them, they grow and multiply. If you starve them, they die off. And then other things can take over. For instance, with Candida, if you don't have a lot of good bacteria in your gut, Candida will take over the space in your gut where the bacteria should be residing. And it will move out. It's supposed to be in the corner. It's supposed to be in a little space. There's things Candida does. It digests heavy metals that our regular digestive system can't handle. But it's supposed to be in a very small amount in our body. So we don't want a complete elimination. We just want to keep it in balance. And the way you do that is having a good microbiome that has lots of healthy, good bacteria. And when you do that, it keeps it in the corner. It is able to do all the other things. You have a lot more T cells if you have a lot more good bacteria. And T cells help us fight foreign invaders and pathogens and viruses and all those things. So you want lots of good bacteria so they could do their job. And one of the ways you can do that, and one of the best ways you can do it, is with fermented foods. And it becomes kind of a mainstay in your diet after you start to feel the benefits. You don't have to believe me. You can just try it. And then you will see the benefits, and then you'll be writing me emails about it because it's so astounding to me what it does that I've been doing it for 21 years now because I don't want to go back to the life that I had or the way that I used to feel. And fermented foods have done that for me. And here's the cool thing. In the last 6 months, we developed Alruterite yogurt. And I just thought, okay, whatever. It's good. It's great. We are missing that bacteria. I had no idea the effect it would have on me. And I'm not just saying that because, okay, for instance, about an hour ago, I just made 5 more jars that's in the yogurt maker now, quart jars that I make every week because my entire family eats it because it creates oxytocin in the brain. And everybody in my family is so much nicer since we started. Not that they were bad before, but they're more calm. They're nicer since we started having Alruterite. And I thought they were crazy at first, but it does work. And kefir has been the biggest thing in my life that changed me. And I just didn't think there could be anything that would change me as much. But this has had a profound effect on me. So I make this super intense smoothie in the morning with kefir and Alruterite. And now I've got a new thing we're working on that has another benefit that I want. And it's a yogurt too. It's called L-Gastrite. So we're working on that. But it has benefits that the others don't have. And you guys, it's just food and it's so fun and it's so delicious. And I use it all the time. I just put out a summer ebook, and in it I put a flash frozen yogurt that I just make with fruit and yogurt. It's so good. It makes like 5 minutes. And guys, I have it for lunch all the time because it's hot here and I'm really enjoying it. And I don't do all this stuff just to sell products because I'm pretty intense about what I promote, because if I don't like it and I don't use it, I don't promote it. And I'm pretty religious about that. And you will notice on my site, I don't have all the flashing ads because I hate them with every fiber of my being. And I had them for like 2 months, couldn't handle it, had a meltdown, took them all off. It's very lucrative to do that. But I thought, you know what? I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want to do something that I would want. And I would want to go to this site, and cultured foods are just new to people. They're a little bit challenging, but they're not hard. They're just new. And I don't want all these flashing ads all over my sites to try to distract you from the thing at hand. Because if you get better, it comes back to me. Because what I put out is what I get back. And many years ago, when I started my business, I had this philosophy. if you love something, and I really love cultured foods. They made me well. And you believe in them, and you believe in the benefits, and you do it, the people who are looking for you will find you. And what you put out is what you get back. So that is my philosophy. I know I talk about a lot of products, but they have been life-changing for me. And I'm not going to tell you about anything that I don't do. And I love these foods. And I never in a million years thought that I would learn more stuff than I have previous 21 years. And I'm finding more and more stuff that is changing my life. Because as I get older, I swear I'm getting younger. It's crazy. I feel better now than I did 10 years ago. And that's crazy. I'm like, how old am I? 62, I think. Anyway, I look younger. Everything, my hair's thicker. Life is fun to get up in the morning and do this. And I want that for you because I know what it's like to not feel good. And when you get your life back, you get your health back, and you know how to take care of your microbes. You know how to take care of your body, because whatever you eat, your body will crave. So if you're eating stuff that's not good for you, it's going to crave it. But you switch that and give it other foods that it needs and wants and can repair your gut microbe, it will crave those foods. Trust me, I've done this millions of times, seen it happen over and over with my own body. Those foods will become your best friends, and you'll love them and you'll crave them because that's how it works. Your body is trying to assimilate these foods you eat. And so it craves whatever you're giving it. So if you give it these other foods that have life-giving force in them that can strengthen your microbiome, it will change you. I promise you. And I tell you, it has been life-changing for me. And even recently, even more so, because I'm finding more and more things about how to feed my microbiome and how to keep it healthy and growing. So if you see me advertising something, it's because I do it. I'm gonna tell you more and more because as I get older, I just get so excited that I feel so good. It's freaking me out. Do you know what I mean? Everybody else is like talking about retiring, and I'm just getting started, guys. I mean, I am so excited every morning when I get out of bed because I'm learning so much, and I'm so excited because we get hundreds of emails every day, and I hear the stories from you, and I share the stories that you send me. And it is such a blessing to have you guys in my life because you motivate me to do more because I'm so excited that you feel better, that you're doing better, and that it's changing your life. So I'm just kind of rambling now. But anyway, because I get really excited about these foods, but I really do love them, guys. They have been, I wouldn't be making 5 jars of yogurt right now if it wasn't so life-changing for me. I want to keep those jars in there because everybody in my family eats it every day. And it's their breakfast. It's super fast. It's super easy. It's not hard to do. It takes less than 4 or 5 minutes. And I want that for you too, because in this day and age, anything that's going to not only help our gut microbe, but help our emotions to feel happier, less judgmental, more compassion, which is what some of these foods do, because once you fix your gut microbe, you fix a lot of your emotions. And I have seen that dramatically in my own life and everybody else's. So anyway, I'll let you go. Have a great week. Check out the article. I have lots of information in there. And stay well, guys, and stay healthy. And try some cultured foods. They can be life-changing. They certainly have for me. Have a great week.